This is the Betty dress with a square neck feature. This is the original Betty dress available in our shop, and it's a square neck addition to give it a classic, easy look, and you can find the pattern linked below. Today's video is going to be the process for the bodice and the facing, and the rest of the steps are linked in all of our other Betty dress videos as you add the sleeves and the tiers to finish the dress. This dress that you'll see in the video is made from a linen bed sheet. I think that this is a great way to get a lot of fabric for a reasonable price. So you can find this bed sheet that I used linked below. It comes in many different colors and I like the feel of it. It's really light and honestly, it's the perfect fabric for this dress. You will begin by cutting out all of your pattern pieces and lining them up to the fold if it calls for it, and making sure that all of the grain lines are parallel to the selvage edge so that your dress flows really naturally and fits to the body how it is supposed to. You can see more in-depth videos on cutting fabric and beginner tutorials on our channel. So you're going to begin by grabbing your front and your back bodice pieces, and the back bodice piece you want to line up right sides together along the middle edge, and you're going to sew this at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now, throughout this video, you'll see finishing the seams with a serger, but you can also finish the seams with a French seam, which is a little bit different process, but you can see this on our channel as well. And you can also finish it with a zigzag stitch on a regular machine or use pinking shears, which is basically zigzag scissors, and this will finish the edge. So whatever finish you're choosing, you will finish this back seam and press to one side. I like to sew a top stitch down the middle to keep the seam pressed to one side and give it that clean finished look. Now unpin your front and back facings. With the back facings right sides together, sew at 1/2 inch. This is going to be just like you did the back bodice piece. Finish the outer edge of the facing with a serger or a hem so that it gives it a clean look on the inside of the dress. Now you'll sew the front and back facings together at the shoulder seams and sew at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now with your right sides together, pin your front and back bodice pieces together at the shoulder, making sure the notches are lining up. You'll sew the shoulder seams together at 1/2 inch seam allowance. Right sides together match the shoulder seams of the bodice and the facing, and the corners of the square neck on the front and back pieces. Now sew at 1/4 inch seam allowance around the facing. Fold the facing to the inside of the bodice and press all the way around, making sure that the facing is not showing on the outside of the dress. Now measure 1 inch around the facing and top stitch the facing to the bodice. This is going to make sure that the facing won't flap around when you're wearing it and give it a clean finish. Now this is it for sewing the square neck. You can follow the rest of the directions for the rest of this dress with your pattern, or you can click this next video and it'll take you through the steps for the sleeves and the tiers and finishing the rest of the dress.